Hey guys, this is your girl, Miss Analytical. So I wanted to come here real quick and talk about the post that I created on my community page. I urge every one of you to visit it, read it, and also comment if you choose to. But most importantly, if you could share it, because I will be going live about a particular topic, and it's something that I really do. I know that I've done. The first one that I did was about the wonderful, notoriously Cynthia G. And when I mean wonderful, I'm being sarcastic because I can't stand her. I despise her. And that was 4 years ago. And I got 6K views from that. I also talked about Tasha K. She gives me a lot of views. You know, I'm not a Tasha K fan, but I honestly don't despise her like I did 4 years ago. Times change, and it's really interesting when that happens. I also spoke about Lovely T, who I still consider one of my favorite YouTubers. I've been rocking with her since 2015. I also will mention people that I comment that are YouTubers. Tariq Nasheed. I love Tariq Nasheed. And I recently commented on Dane Calloway, who I have my issues with him, but I'm going to say something. I don't despise Dane Calloway. I despise what he's doing. I want to make that clear. Dane Calloway is still a part of the community, and I disagree with his research, but I'm not going to tear him down like I would do other people. He's not a Candace Owens. I want to say that, okay? But what he's doing is dangerous. But why I'm talking about this is because I did a discussion, a content on Friday in regards to David Barton. And David Barton is an American history revisionist, meaning that he has changed American history to basically fit his narrative of America being a Christian theocracy, okay? And that was the true design of the Founding Fathers, but it didn't go that way as planned. Okay, so I mentioned two people in that, which were their names, Bevelyn Beatty Williams and Rickey Williams. They're a newlywed couple. I've known about Bevelyn really going back to 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago at that. But YouTube 2020. The husband, I've known about him going back to the summer of 2021. Now, here's the thing. I've been mentioning them here and there on lives because I find them to be very dangerous in terms of their rhetoric and what they're preaching. And they're preaching the David Barton history revisionist thinking. And what's going on is that there are many people who are not just enjoying it, but believing it as truth. And it's very interesting because David Barton never, ever, 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 ever really spoke about Black history during the Obama years. Not even during the first, I would say, the last Obama years. Maybe when Trump got into office because he was a Trump supporter. But it really started around the time when the reparations movement for ADO's Foundation of Black Americans kicked off, which was in 2018. What I believe is going on is that, and it's not really so much coming from Bevelyn, because Bevelyn said on one of her recent lives, I read my Bible. I don't really read other books but the Bible. My husband reads books, and then he reads them to me, or I listen to them on audio. And something like that is disturbing, because why can't you pick up a book and read about your own history? Are you afraid of your history? Are you afraid to know about your true self? Why are you allowing your husband, which I said on one of my last videos back in November, I said, I don't believe that Bevelyn has ever read a history book. She's getting her facts from her husband, who's getting it from David Barton. And he has mentioned David Barton and quote him as such. Now, I'm going to talk about this on my live. I just want people to pick the date Do you want the live to be Monday? Do you want it to be Tuesday? Because I think it's very important for me to speak about this. And why I'm speaking about this is because I believe that not so much Bevelyn, but her husband is speaking about the history of this country, really going hard with the David Barton, history books. And by the way, he is an Alex Jones vivid watcher. He's a fan. And that's where David Barton used to appear. That's where a lot of people also found out about David Barton through Alex Jones. But also because our reparations claim is gaining a full amount of steam. Okay? And there are people, mainly white supremacists, who are watching and fearful of this. And now more so than ever, basically the past year or so, David Barton on his website, he posts Black history facts, which are not facts. They're lies. And he puts in half truths, but he puts in these lies basically to make it seem like, oh, you also had Black people who owned slaves. You had white people in this country that found a father were against slavery. They were against the slave trade. It's all to illegitimize our reparations claim in this country. And they're using Black people to really make it happen, because Black people can talk to other Black people and try to attempt to put these things in their heads to basically cast down that bucket. You may have heard that term from Booker T. Washington, cast down a bucket, meaning like, make peace, don't fight against the white people. Don't try to get reparations from them. Do for yourself, build up your own wealth. Go against the idea that America owes foundational Black Americans / ADOS a reparation claim. That's what it is. And I believe possibly, I'm not saying it's fact, but I believe that her husband is not just an agent working on behalf of them. Maybe it's War Builders or organization. Maybe he's, sent there to do what he's doing. But I also think that he has hooked himself into Bevelyn and used her to get this agenda across to shut down our reparations claim, because Bevelyn has a bigger name and Bevelyn has a lot of fans. Even though she lost her YouTube channel and she went from having like 156K on the original one to now only 8.23 or 8.24, one of the two. But I feel that it's imperative as a person who is FBA, and you could also say ADOS, to basically go out and speak out against them. Because if people like me don't, and all of you all don't call this out, this stuff is going to gain steam. Now, yes, we talk about Dane Calloway doing a revisionist and saying that Harriet Tubman didn't exist and that Nat Turner was a creation, though that Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner were creations of the Library of Congress, and that Frederick Douglass, he did say this shit. I want to make this clear. He did say this, that Frederick Douglass didn't really exist at first. He was also created by Library of Congress, but then he realized it's too much information about him because he was the most photographic person in America during the 1800s. So he had to walk back that. But with Nat Turner, there aren't any photos of him at all. It's just illustrations. So he had to walk that out. Now, another thing is that we go after Dane, we go after Candace, we go after Brandon, which is cool to basically call them out, especially the last two. But we don't go after others that's doing it in a sly, underhanded way because they don't have bigger names. If their agenda that they're doing, which is they really trying to make America a Christian theocracy, we really will not get reparations. We would have a better chance to get reparations under Jeb Bush if he was president, or even under George W. Bush, as opposed to our country being a Christian theocracy. This is what Bevelyn Beatty Williams and her husband Rickey Williams are pushing to do. Okay? And it will roll back everything that we fought for. Even though they may not think that that's what they may, want to do, but their handlers really want them to go and push back on rights of Black people. So this is why I'm going to go live talking about them. They want to get rid of abortion in every state, and I'm anti-abortion. I don't like the idea of it. But they also want to get rid of gay marriage. So any of my viewers out there, listeners, that's going to marry somebody of their sex or is already married somebody of the same sex, you might want to look out for these two, because if they get their way, your marriage will be invalid or you may not ever get married. So I'm just going to say what that is. And they really want to even make they want to make being gay illegal. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Really, the husband. So with that, I'm going live about them. This will be my first time doing so. I know that people are going to come on the channel and going to comment. I know people are probably going to be for it, against it. Listen, after going through what I went through a couple of years ago, dealing with the people who didn't like the fact that I had said something about Megan Thee Stallion, and then the McClure twins, and then the Tasha K stands, and now even the Zay Calloway stands. Trust me, I can handle anything, all right? And I know how to back it up because I've already done research. Okay? So with that being said, I'm signing off. If there's any questions you want me to throw out there during my live, if there's anything that you want me to talk about, if you basically are familiar with them, not just on YouTube, but also in real life, you can basically post it. You can message me via email. And you could also, well, you know what? Hold up. I don't want you to do not the email. Don't message me on email, because I don't want people trying to dox me. I'm gonna keep it real, because those two, they got some underhanded tendencies. I'm just gonna keep it like that. They're very vicious. They got vicious ways. But if you basically, want to throw a comment there, if you basically, know something, or if you basically, just want to just speak, because I believe in free speech, you could basically post it under the community post that I made on my community page, or you could basically comment under the upload. And with that being said, I'm going to go live this week about them. Thank you for listening. And we got to do what we got to do, particularly the FBA family, because that's what I mostly identify with as FBA, Foundational Black American. I grew up hearing that, but I grew up hearing it, my mother calling it Black Foundational American. But hey, FBA all day. Sorry about that. I will talk to y'all later. Deuces.